Welcome to Property with Jacob. Today we're going to be looking at refinancing. This is the process of extracting the money that you've made post-renovation before you even consider refinancing. When you're actually looking to buy the house, the money is made before you buy. What I was talking about in the renovation video, you kind of know in your mind what price you're going to sell that house for because it'll be very similar to all the other houses that are on the market within the street. You can check on Rightmove, for example, and look at houses sold within like that area, again 0.5 mile radius, and look at what they're selling for. And your objective when you're buying the house is to get it significantly below that price. So again, 20% below market value or something like that, based on the fact that it being an absolute bomb site when you get there. So you've done the renovation, it's gone up in value, you want to pull your money out now. You bought it for, let's say 75 grand, you know that it's worth 100, let's say now. You might have spent 5k on it, so you spent £80,000 in this deal and you want to get your £20,000 out. How do you go about doing that? Well, a lot of these things start on how you bought the house in the first place. Did you buy it in cash? Did you buy it with a mortgage? Did you use a bridging loan? I'm going to start off with the most common route, which is a mortgage for this. So if you have taken out a mortgage on the house, then you can do something as simple as I just ask the bank for an extension on the mortgage. Say, you've done some work on the house, I believe the house has gone up in value. They'll send a surveyor around, the surveyor will say yes or no. If the house has yes gone up in value, then great, they'll give you an extension on your mortgage. If they say no, this can lead you on to another potential pathway, which is remortgaging. With a remortgage, you can do this without asking for an extension. You can do both, perhaps. But with a remortgage, you can talk to your mortgage broker, or you can compare the market. You'll look across the whole market and you'll see what sort of interest rates people are offering on properties that are of the similar spec to yours, so at the similar price point. But again, with me, I did this for my first house, but then I much prefer to use a mortgage broker. So for my houses after the first, it's so much easier just to get them to do it. It's a small fee, and you make that small fee you have to pay them, but you make that money back in droves throughout the time of the mortgage anyway. So it saves a lot of headache, and it's pretty much free if you look at what money you save throughout the course of the mortgage. Looking at what a remortgage is, there's a little bit of a recap. We're asking a different lender, perhaps a bridging loan or our initial mortgage, and we're seeing, right, okay, will you lend, based on our example, £100,000 on this property. Currently going to borrow against my property at a rate of 100k, and if you bought the house for £75,000, and you might have if you bought it with a lifetime ISA, then you'll have a 10% deposit. If you bought it as an investment, then you'll have a 25% deposit within the property. If it's 75 grand, then you'll have £7,500 worth of equity in the house. And if it is a buy-to-let property, then you'll have 25% equity within the property. If you remortgage onto the property for 100 grand, you have already got a decent sum of equity in the house, £7,500 in proportion. So relative to the full price of the house, you've only got a mortgage of £67,500. So if you remortgaged all the way up to 100 grand at 10% rate, you can look at 67,500 minus that from 90 grand, and that'll give you the profit that you'll be able to extract from that venture. Now, if it's on a residential mortgage, you won't be able to let it. You might be able to ask your mortgage for a permission to let, but you should be buying with normal help to buy packages or products if your plan is to rent it out. For example, but if your circumstances change for whatever reason, then that's an unforeseen circumstance. The third way, the third/fourth way of extracting the equity out is you can sell it. If you believe that a property has gone up in value to a good enough point, a good enough margin, again using that other example, you've got £67,500 on the mortgage and you sell it for 100k, or you put it on the market for maybe like 110 and you're looking for an offer of about £100,000, then you'll have made yourself quite a tidy profit there of £32,500, which you can always put into another deal. So that initial £7,500 deposit, and maybe your renovation cost of £5,000 costing you £12,500, then you've magnified that all the way up to £32,500. That's, it's a great return on investment, and it's how a lot of these flips can work. The only downside is you don't have a house to live in at the end, or you don't have anywhere to rent out. So Using my specific example, I managed to refinance up, and then I could refinance to 75% on the buy-to-let mortgage, and then I let it out at 575 a month, which gave me a nice monthly income. In terms of like the nitty-gritty about how you would actually go for the remortgage, I've covered the remortgage. In terms of your bridging loan, that's more to get the property in the first place, which I can cover in a separate video. It's more of a type of finance rather than refinance. And then selling, methods to sell, just talking to a local estate agent, getting it valued and just putting it on the market, getting some really quality pictures on advertisement and getting a good description and a full floor plan, making it as easy as possible for the people to see the house. And selling a quality good as well. You should be, if you're renovating a property, you should be selling something quality. You shouldn't be trying to rip people off. You sell a really premium product, or a product that's suitable for the houses in that area. So that's refinancing covered. If you've got any comments, leave it. If you've got any comments or questions, leave it in the section below. Next week we're going to be covering finding a tenant. Great, fantastic. See you next week. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please like it. We've got a lot more videos in the pipeline, so if you like what you see, subscribe to us for weekly videos. I'll see you in the next one.